Howdy folks, welcome back to the channel. If you're new here, my name is Daniel. Usually I talk about movies, but I also love like TV, video games, music, books, really any way that I can kind of escape through media. That's kind of my jam. Today we are going to talk about Channing Tatum's new movie. I'm scratching my elbow. We're talking about Channing Tatum's new movie, Roofman. This is probably one of my favorite films this year. It just has a lot of heart. I thought that the comedy was great. The tender moments were great. The little suspenseful moments too were actually really, really cool. And it is also based on a true story. So the film stars Channing Tatum as Jeffrey Manchester, also known as the Roofman or the McDonald's robber. Kirsten Dunst is in the film. Peter Dinklage is in the film as well. Lakeith Stanfield. So like a fair amount of recognizable faces. I thought that the script was really, really incredible. Now, whenever you hear that something is based off of a true story, you know that they are going to take some liberties. And I will say that there were some liberties taken. There are always going to be some that studios decide to try to make a project more interesting. However, it was really, really cool to find out that the Roofman really did hide out in not just a Toys R Us, but he also hid out in a Circuit City. So dude like lived there. He lived in a Circuit City for like 6 months. And he had a very particular way of getting into these buildings, which is why it's called the Roofman. He would quite literally drill holes in the roof of a building and he would drop down in there. He would literally like rappel down there, kind of, which I guess is from his military training. But to find out that this guy was like a real guy was like actually kind of cool. And I thought Channing Tatum did a really good job of it. He brought a lot of heart to it, a lot of fun. I don't know. I think that there was something about it that piqued my interest. So leaving the theater after seeing it, I was like, damn, like, good job, Channing. Good job. So one of the most notable things about the Roofman was not only the way that he would enter a building to rob it, but also, according to people who he actually like kidnapped and hostages of his, apparently he was just very, very kind and gentlemanly and would even like crack jokes with them, which when I saw it in the movie, I was like, okay, that's funny. And then I actually like read some of the recounts from witnesses during a court case, and I thought, not a gentleman robber, like that's insane. But anyway, Channing is super, super charming. I thought it was really funny too that he goes to rob a McDonald's and they see him and he puts them in the walk-in freezer, and he makes sure that they all bring their jackets because they're going to be in the walk-in freezer, and he didn't want them to be cold while he was like robbing them. So when I found out that was like a real thing, I was like, oh, I guess that's kind of cute or whatever. Anywho, so he, after a few like crime sprees, he was sentenced to 40 years in prison. And because he wanted to get back to his family, he was trying to think of ways to kind of get out of there, right? So after watching supply trucks come in and out of the penitentiary, he studied and studied to make sure that the times were there. He knew what guards were working, all that other fun stuff. And so he planned his escape. So this guy builds a big cardboard like panel, and he spray paints it black. And after serving 4 years of his 40-year sentence, he actually, before the truck driver drives the big rig out, he hides underneath the truck, puts the cardboard panel in front of him so you don't see him, and literally gets from California penitentiary all the way to North Carolina, which is like kind of insane. So he makes it out. He escapes. Now he's in North Carolina, no place to go. He can't really show his face at all. And it doesn't take much time before the police recognize that he has this. Oh my God. So he successfully escapes. So he makes it all the way down to North Carolina. But since he's quite literally escaped from prison, he can't like show his face anywhere or do any of those things. Nobody's supposed to know where he is. So he has to find some place to hide, right? So, I mean, I don't know what better place to hide than a Toys R Us. Yeah, that's right. Like an actual Toys R Us. He waits until the store closes and he climbs up to it. He like now, obviously, if you're on the run, you are supposed to be incognito, right? Nobody's supposed to see you, hear you, none of that. But he's watching the surveillance cameras in this Toys R Us, trying to see like who works there, trying to see where the safe is, trying to get passwords, passcodes, keys, like all that fun stuff, so that he can take what he needs to take. And then he takes a shining to the character that Kirsten Dunst plays, which also I like their chemistry. I think that they did a really, really good job kind of playing off of each other really well. And so what he ends up doing is grabbing a bunch of toys that were going to be thrown away that were like defective toys. And one of the biggest mistakes that he makes, he takes those toys to a church to donate them, right? Now, you may say, well, why is that a bad thing? Because he's an escaped convict. So he ain't supposed to be out here in these streets like that. You feel me? Then he gets to meet her in person. They talk. They're all hanging out at the church, getting to know each other, all that fun stuff. And then they start dating. So he's hiding out in Toys R Us. And like, he's not supposed to see anybody. No one is supposed to know that he's there because he's a fugitive. And he just takes a shining to her. She takes a shining to him. All that like fun stuff. Yeah. So the performances in this movie like were really, really great. As I mentioned before, I think that Kirsten Dunst and Channing Tatum has some really, really great chemistry there. One thing about now Lakeith Stanfield, if you don't know, he's an actor who was in Sorry to Bother You on Netflix. He was also in the FX series Atlanta. He's really, really great, just in general and like dramatic roles, and he's got like a really quirky sense of humor. And I think he has some really, really great comedic timing as Jeffrey's like homeboy who really like tried to help him get out of that situation. Yeah, I think he did a really, really great job. And then Peter Dinklage, also again, really, really great comedic timing. Now, if you don't know, Peter Dinklage was in Game of Thrones, obviously. He's in the new reboot for The Toxic Avenger, but I forgot he was an elf too. So I don't know why I was surprised, but he had a lot of really great comedic moments in the movie too. Kirsten Dunst, just so sweet. OG MJ from the original Spider-Man trilogy. She also did a wonderful job. So I think all around, it was a really, really fun film. I would say go and see it. Go check it out. If you don't know about Jeffrey Manchester, check him out. Yeah, I don't know. I know we're almost like the year's almost over, right? So I've seen a ton of movies this year already, but this has to be one of the best movies I've seen this year. But yeah, let me know what y'all think. So yeah, like, subscribe, comment, share, whatever. Also, I'm a newer creator, so if you have any like feedback for me, I'm still kind of working on the and likes and stuff like that. But if you think of anything, just let me know. And yeah, peace out. I'll see y'all later. After a brief separation, Jeffrey makes one last attempt to connect with Bree and her daughters after months of getting to know them and falling in love with one another. Unfortunately, Lee caught wind of all of his aggressions and found out that he was the one who held up the Toys R Us. After she finds out, she invites him over for a Christmas party with the girls, and that's it. She has to call the police to make sure that she and her girls are safe, and he has to go back to jail. The chemistry between Channing Tatum and Kirsten Dunst is kind of undeniable, and probably very akin to the relationship that Jeffrey had with Lee in real life. One cool thing is that Jeffrey was actually a consultant on the film, so Channing and Kirsten got to talk to him. The director got to talk to him as well, specifically like to him, which I thought was kind of cool. All in all, it was a really, really fun film. I say go and check out Roofman. Yeah, that's it. Well, that is my time here. Thank you guys so much for watching. See y'all later.